A lot of people just chronically stayed in bed all day.
Depression is rather like going into a long, dark tunnel. As I enter this tunnel, it's as if the darkness begins to close right in upon me.
Is a couch, a chair, a quiet room, and lots of talk, mostly from the patient. It's drugs and electric shock treatments, and in rare instances, brain operations to try to correct abnormal behavior. It's also huge institutions, barred windows, restraints, seclusion rooms, locked wards. And underlying all this is a nagging question: what are we trying to treat? What is mental illness?
Do people have a right to be crazy?
All right, do people have a right to be crazy?
Well, I suppose people have a right to be crazy as long as they can function.
Generally speaking, I see mental illness as being unable, not unwilling, but unable to cope with our society.
And some of it's in the patient's eye. If it gets serious enough, it's in society's eye. And
What they do is ameliorate the symptoms of the illness and hopefully, and even theoretically, restore a biochemical balance in the central nervous system. Now, in that sense, it's something like a diabetic that receives insulin. You can say, well, I take my insulin every day and my diabetes is in control. But if you ask me, am I cured of diabetes, I would have to say no.
Too often, the distinction between sanity and insanity is, they're in there, we're out here.
And certainly things can happen to a person's nervous system which render them less able to accommodate sensory input, or what we call stress. So that instead of responding rationally and in a balanced way and bouncing back, they snap.
If you're lucky, you'll be able to repair the damage. But if not, it's likely that it will end up on a scrap heap. And that's precisely what happens to you and me when we push ourselves too hard. See a glimmer of light. It's a glimmer of hope. It's something that makes me feel that it's worth going forward. For most people, there is hope and there is light at the end of the tunnel. And it's worth waiting for.
Finally, it's over. Since the patient was under a local anesthetic, he was able to sit up as soon as it ended.
And how different do you feel? Do you feel better, worse, or just the same?
Right now, I have a little headache right now.
You got a little headache.